All right, so Professor Charles Nesson from Harvard University, Harvard Professor of Law, has been very instrumental in making this connection a reality as well. He was just here, but as always, he's probably roving, you know, probably doing some search for the best strains as we're speaking. So we're going to ask his wife, Ms. Furness, also from the Harvard School of Law, to say a few words.
First, I want to tell you I'm going to kill Charlie for disappearing right now. Secondly, thank you. We feel honored to be here. It's been an honor to meet every one of you. The work has been amazing, and please come and talk to us. We want to meet everyone we haven't met already. Thanks very much for having us.
Yes, again, I give thanks. You know, just as I was a part to, some individuals were about to depart, you know what happened? The rain come down. And then all of us had to come back together. So it's a reason. Oh, well, Prof is here. Now, after Prof, there's a marriage, there's a ganja marriage, a cannabis marriage, a marijuana marriage. So put your hands together. All manner of things is happening, you know? And I want to give thanks to everything that is happening. I think, you know, somehow we might not have planned it certain way, but it is happening that way. And we give thanks, you know? Now, Rick is here to perform a marriage, a ganja marriage. But before Rick, I want to ask you to put your hand together and welcome Professor Nesson. Fern. Fern is Fern. So, Professor, this time. I have been many moments that I have spent with Prof, being at his home in Boston, being introduced to his students at Harvard, being taken to interviews upon interviews. I've spent so much time with Professor Nesson. And it reminds me, because to be honest, I never used to relate to white people. I'm telling you the truth. Right? That's the honest truth. But along the way, I have learned a lot. That you don't judge people because of their color. Because, like His Majesty Haile Selassie I said, until the philosophy that holds one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned, and until there is no more first class and second class citizens of any nation, until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes, until maliciousness, bigotry, and inhuman self-interest is replaced by goodwill and overstanding for all, then the dream of true lasting peace, world citizenship, and the rule of international morality will be but a fleeting illusion to be pursued, but never attained. There will be, there will be, there will be. Give thanks. Put your hands together.
Hello. I listened to Rick's story, building up to this meeting that took place in my office. And I thought, well, yes, this was an amazing thing that happened. What happened was that Fern and I came down, I think in February, and somehow I got a speaking place at the Future Growers Conference in Kingston in, I think it was April, perhaps, something. Future Growers, I mean, it sounded fine. Until I realized that you had to sign an affidavit that you were not a present grower in order to be a future grower. Now just think about that for a moment. We're in Kingston. We're in a community where the capital is in the east and the farms are in the west. And all of a sudden, as marijuana is about to become legal, there is the future growers, which are all a bunch of people who I don't think are ganja farmers. Well, I had the pleasure of speaking at this meeting. It was a wonderful meeting. It was in a very distinguished environment there in Kingston. And it leads off in the Jamaican way with one person after another getting up and supporting what's going on. And each person that got up to support, the law had not yet been passed, you understand. Each person would get up and they'd say, well, I don't smoke cannabis, I don't use cannabis, but I do support this legislation, and would then go on with a flowery speech about how they supported it. And as I got up to speak, Fern grabbed my coat and said, tell them you smoke. And so I had the first words were, I'd just like to say that I smoke ganja. And the place went wild. I was like a hero. Well, it was after that I realized that there's something out of balance here. And I read a magnificent story in, I don't know, Cleaner Observer, but it was a story about this leader in Westmoreland who was ready to take to the streets if there wasn't some recognition for the small farmer and the need of the small farmer to actually get some money before the big capital bought them out. Right. And he invited me to come to this meeting out in Orange Hill, which is the one that Rick talked about. That's where Rick and I connected up with this. And it did. It led to this amazing meeting in my office with Mark and Michael Kennedy. You should know Michael Kennedy was a civil rights lawyer. Old guy like me, back from the 60s doing civil rights law, who then started defending marijuana people in trouble, and eventually High Times, when all censorship and discrimination kinds of things, and eventually becomes the leader of High Times. That's Michael Kennedy. Michael and Mark and me and Rick and the spirit of Rastafari. It was in the room. It was in the room. So I just want to say, I feel so blessed to be able to help Iyah V. Fern and I are both Harvard lawyers. I signed on for $1 to represent Iyah V and Ras Iyah V in the process of trying to bring this whole thing together. Fern isn't even taking $1. That's the way it goes. So wonderful to see where it is. The very interesting thing to see is where is it going to go. I want to say I'm a law professor, Harvard Law School. The reason I am interested in this is it is a phenomenally interesting story how a community that has been outlawed becomes a legal community. It's not just like magic. There are many, many, many decisions along the way. How does that work? That is like a big legal question that I want to study, I want to understand, I want to teach, I want to pass on knowledge to those who are involved in the process. So when Mark speaks about education, all right, that's where I come in. Thank you very much.
Yes, so something that we have never seen before is about to take place. It's all history, all a part of the history making. And now I just want to welcome Rick again. He's the master of ceremony where this marriage is concerned. This is a ganja marriage, so put your hands together.
Before we start, I just want you to know this is a ganja marriage, since you pointed it out. The people I'm marrying right here This is Susie Ambrose. This is Kyle Kushman. This is what we call in the United States a power couple when it comes to marijuana. These are some of the best growers, breeders in the world. And we have the honor now of sanctifying their marriage on this stage. Come on up, everybody. We ask Ras Iyah V to come up and give us his blessing real quick before we start, and then we shall perform a quick marriage.
Well, again, I say, after I, as a herb man, as a Rasta man, as a ganja man, I just want to endorse what is about to happen. Here we have the minister, and it's appropriate that the minister, Honorable Mark Golding, is here to witness, and I think he will have to put his pen to this marriage to know that he's sanctioning. Right? So again, I say, give thanks for what is happening. It has been a joy being here. Yeah, the rain is falling and might dampen certain things. But on a whole, I think it's Rastafari, the Almighty, the power of the Almighty, that is at work. So we have to just take it as it comes. So again, I just want to thank Rick and all the others. I just want to say to Rick, perform your marriage, and we all honor and endorse it. Give thanks, Rastafari.
Thank you. Okay, this will not take long, but it should last for eternity. Weddings are easy. Weddings, you get up, you do them in front of people, they're easy. Marriages are hard. Marriages take love. Marriages take patience. Marriages take kindness. Marriages take thought. Marriages take consideration. I have seen the way Susie looks into my friend Kyle's and looks at him when he's not looking. I have seen her consideration and her love, and I have seen it radiate out of her. And I thought, man, Kyle is a very lucky man. And Susie, I want you to know I've known this man for 15 years, and he is one of the kindest, most considerate, most thoughtful human beings I've ever met in my life. And the fact that they have asked me to come here and do this is, again, one of the great honors of my life. I'm going to ask Susie and Kyle to come up and give us their vows, one after the other, and then each a ring. And then we will come back and perform the marriage ceremony. Susie?
First, I would like to thank the ganja growers for these beautiful entries in their first cannabis cup. Thank you so much. These are beautiful. I'm proud to be here. You know, I was going to read all this to you, but really the most important thing I wanted to say today is really that I want to stand here with you and promise to help you repair one small piece of the world. It's really great to be here.
Susan Ambrose. Since I met you, not long after I met you, I started telling you that I loved you most. And what that means to me is, I love you more than anything on earth. I love you more than anything that I've ever loved, and more than anything that I ever will love. And on this day, in front of all these people, I gladly pledge my undying love, and I promise to cherish you for the rest of my life. I don't know what else to say. Susie, I take you to be my lawfully wedded wife.
To have to hold from this day forward.
To have to hold from this day forward.
For good and for ill.
For good and for ill.
For better, for worse.
For better, for worse.
Until death do us apart.
Until death do us apart.
Susie. Tell Kyle. Kyle, I take you to be my lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for good and for ill, until death do you part. Susie and Kyle, with these rings, is a symbol of the eternity, the eternal circle, and the eternity of your love. And with these rings, and with the power vested in me by the Universal Life Church, I now pronounce you man and woman.
Peace, love, and joy, and Rastafari.